Deep in the heart of Madagascar, as the sun dips below the horizon, the rainforest transforms into a world of shadows and secrets. Among the tangled vines and ancient trees, a pair of glowing, amber eyes emerge from the darkness, watching the world with intense curiosity. This is the IE, a lemur unlike any other, scientifically known as Dobintonia madagascariensis. It is a masterpiece of specialized evolution. To survive the night, it relies on extraordinary adaptations. Its enormous, leathery ears are constantly twitching, scanning for the slightest sound beneath the bark. But its most famous feature is the middle finger, skeletal and incredibly thin. This elongated digit is a high-precision tool for survival, combined with rodent-like teeth that never stop growing. The II is perfectly equipped to penetrate the toughest wood in the forest. The hunt begins with a technique called percussive foraging. The lemur taps rapidly on wood, listening for the echoes of hollow chambers. It can essentially see with its ears, pinpointing the exact location of fat, protein-rich larvae hidden deep within the tree. Once detected, the lemur uses its finger like a hook, extracting the prey with remarkable speed and dexterity. Yet, for centuries, this harmless creature has been steeped in myth. Local legends often viewed them as omens of bad luck. Because of these superstitions and the rapid loss of their forest home, the II is now an endangered species facing an uncertain future. Protecting the II means protecting the unique biodiversity of Madagascar. Every creature, no matter how strange, has a role to play. As dawn approaches, the mysterious lemur retreats back into the leaves, leaving us to wonder at the marvels of the natural world. Join the effort to save Madagascar's wildlife. Together, we can ensure the song of the forest continues for generations to come.
All right, today we're taking a trip deep into the rainforests of Madagascar. Why? To meet one of the planet's most fascinating and, let's be honest, just plain bizarre primates, the II. Get ready, because your whole idea of what a primate is supposed to be, well, it's about to get turned completely on its head. You know, this quote it perfectly captures that feeling you get the first time you lay eyes on an II. It's a creature that's so strange, it really does look like nature just raided a spare parts bin and, just threw something together from all the leftovers. So really, what is this creature? Well, at its heart, the II is a type of lemur. One of those primates you can only find on Madagascar. And this is a big but, it's a lemur that breaks all the rules. It's carved out this little spot for itself in the ecosystem that is just unlike any other primate on the entire planet. Okay, to really understand this animal, we've got to look at it piece by piece. So let's just break down exactly what makes the II look so wonderfully strange. So, just for a quick overview of what we're dealing with here. We've got the ears of a bat, the teeth of a rodent, these absolutely enormous eyes for seeing at night, shaggy fur, and then these incredibly distinct, almost skeletal-looking fingers. And it's not just about how these things look, it's about what they do. These ears aren't just for show, not at all. The II can actually move each one independently. It turns them into this kind of biological radar system, constantly scanning for tiny sounds happening inside the trees. Okay, now this is what really sets it apart. Get this. No other primate has incisors that grow continuously, just like a rodent's, and that's absolutely crucial, because the II uses them to gnaw directly through solid wood to get to its food. Right, so since it's a nocturnal animal, the AI does all of its work in the dark. And these huge reflective eyes, they're perfectly adapted to gather every single speck of available light, letting it navigate the pitch-black rainforest like it's nothing. And here we have the II's most famous feature, its hands. I mean, just look at those long, almost skeletal fingers. But I want you to pay really close attention to that third one, the middle finger. See how it's exceptionally long and thin and kind of wiry? Well, as we're about to see, that finger is the key to everything. Yeah, this one finger is so important that it deserves its own section. It's not just a digit, you guys. It's a highly specialized, all-in-one, multi-purpose tool that is absolutely essential for the II to survive. To put it as simply as possible, without this one bizarre-looking finger, the eye would not survive. It is the single most important adaptation this animal has. So, how exactly does it use it? And this is where it all comes together. See, the eye has evolved to fill the exact same ecological role in Madagascar that a completely different kind of animal fills almost everywhere else in the world: the woodpecker. The technique it uses has a scientific name. It's called percussive foraging. In simple terms, it's the act of hunting by sound. I mean, just think about that for a minute. It doesn't find its food by sight or by smell. It finds it by listening to the world that's hidden just beneath the bark of a tree. So here's how all those spare parts come together. Step 1, it taps. It rapidly drums on the tree bark with that crazy middle finger, sometimes up to 8 times a second. Step 2, it listens. Those giant bat-like ears swivel around, detecting the hollow sounds that mean there are insect tunnels inside. Step 3, it gnaws. It uses those powerful, ever-growing teeth to chew a hole right through the wood. And finally, step 4, extract. It slips that long, wiry finger into the hole to hook the grubs out. Tap, listen, gnaw, extract. It's a perfect 4-step system. So here's the mind-blowing part. You have a primate in Madagascar and a bird all over the rest of the world doing the exact same job. They both hunt for insects inside of wood using the exact same technique of tapping and listening. They are completely unrelated species, yet they both arrived at the very same solution. And this amazing phenomenon actually has a name. It's called convergent evolution. It's the process where completely unrelated organisms independently evolve super similar traits. It happens when they have to adapt to similar environments, or in this case, a similar ecological niche. Basically, nature was faced with the same problem. How do you get grubs out from inside a tree? And it solved it in a strikingly similar way in 2 totally separate lineages. The eye is just one of the most incredible examples of this on the entire planet. So, look, it's really easy to look at the eye and just see a collection of oddities, a biological mishmash. But when you finally understand how all those parts work together, you realize it's not odd at all. It's genius. So the real takeaway here is this. Every single strange feature, from those ears to the teeth to that incredible finger, it's a precise tool for survival. The eye isn't a creature made from spare parts. It's a highly specialized, perfectly adapted, one-of-a-kind masterpiece. And that really leaves us with a final, fascinating thought. The eye and the woodpecker. They're just one example. Once you start looking for it, you see convergent evolution everywhere, in the wings of bats and birds, or the complex eyes of humans and octopuses. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other problems has evolution solved, maybe right under our noses, in completely different yet identical ways? Okay, deep in the forests of Madagascar, there's this creature, and it is so weird, so bizarre, that for decades it just completely baffled scientists. We're talking a real evolutionary puzzle, and today we're going to try and solve it together. So, just imagine for a second, you're a scientist, you find a new animal, but it's just so strange. Its features are all over the place, totally contradictory, so much so that you get it completely wrong. You stick it on a totally different branch of the animal kingdom. That's exactly what happened with this creature. So, what on earth could be so confusing about one little animal? And this just shows you how deep the confusion went. I mean, the first guess wasn't just a little bit off. It was in a whole different category of animal. Scientists took one look at its teeth, those incredibly weird fingers, and they thought, okay, this has got to be a rodent. Some kind of squirrel, maybe? Nope, not even close. It's actually a primate. Yeah, a distant cousin of ours. So how could they have messed that up so badly? Well, its own body was leading them down the wrong path. All right, so to really get why this animal is so special, we have to play detective a little bit. We're going to look at how it lives, what it does. Think of these as the clues we need to solve this big evolutionary puzzle. Okay, so what we're looking at here is basically the profile of a forest phantom. First off, it's nocturnal, only comes out at night. And it's solitary, so it's a total loner. That alone makes it super hard to study. But then, get this, they build these huge ball-shaped nests way up high in the canopy. And on top of all that, they travel for miles every single night looking for food. They just never stop moving, which, just adds to the whole mystery.
So, what does a night in the life of this creature actually look like? Well, it's pretty simple, but it is intense. They're constantly on the move, traveling through the canopy, searching for food, and then finally getting to eat. We're not talking about a casual evening stroll here. This is a full-on, all-night marathon of hunting and gathering.
And what are they looking for on this epic nightly journey? Pretty much everything. Their diet is incredibly varied. They'll dig grubs out of tree bark, and that's what those rodent-like teeth are for. But they also eat fruit, seeds, even nectar and fungi. This thing is the ultimate generalist. It's not a picky eater at all, which is a fantastic trick for survival.
Okay, so let's take stock. We've got the clues. It's a nocturnal loner, has a crazy varied diet, and this really weird anatomy. So it's finally time to solve this identity crisis. If it's not a rodent, then what is it? Where does the eye actually fit in?
And the answer is, well, it's pretty mind-blowing. It belongs to a primate family called Daventoniidae. And here's the real kicker. The eye is the only living member of that entire family. It's not just a unique species. It is literally in a class all by itself. That's what this all boils down to. The number one, the last one standing. This creature is the sole survivor of an ancient branch on the primate family tree, a branch that has otherwise completely disappeared. All of its closest relatives, gone. Extinct for a long, long time. So, this brings us to the big question, right? Why does any of this matter? What's the big deal about being the last of your kind? What does it actually mean to be a living relic? Well, this quote from the research puts it perfectly. It's a highly distinct branch of the primate family tree. Think about that. It means the eye is like a completely separate experiment run by evolution. It's split off from all the other lemurs so long ago that it's just been doing its own thing for millions of years. And that's exactly why it looks and acts like nothing else on the planet.
And really, that's the heart of it. When we call it a living relic, what we're really saying is that it's a living fossil. It's like a time capsule, carrying the entire genetic history of a group that would otherwise be completely lost. So by studying the eye today, we're actually getting a peek into a chapter of primate evolution that's been closed for millions of years.
All right, let's do a quick recap. We started with a classic case of mistaken identity, this primate that everyone thought was a rodent. Then we saw how its mysterious, nocturnal life kept it hidden in the shadows. And finally, we cracked the case. It's the last survivor of its entire family, a true living relic that's basically a window into the deep past.
And all of this just leaves you with a really cool thought, doesn't it? The eye was this huge puzzle that was hiding in plain sight for centuries. It just makes you wonder what else is out there. In all the unexplored corners of the world, what other evolutionary secrets, what other amazing living relics are just waiting for us to find them?
You know, there's an animal on this planet that is so strange, so otherworldly, its story feels like it's been ripped straight out of a myth. Today, we're talking about one of the most fascinating and, honestly, deeply misunderstood creatures on Earth, the eye of Madagascar. And trust me, its journey from a feared omen to an evolutionary marvel is a wild ride. Okay, just picture this. You're walking through a forest at night, and someone whispers that to you. This isn't just a spooky story. It's a genuine belief in parts of Madagascar. We're talking about a creature so feared that a simple gesture from its long, skeletal finger is seen as a literal death sentence. So what is the deal here? Is this creature really some kind of harbinger of doom, a demon hiding in the trees? Or is there something else going on entirely? That's the central mystery we're going to unravel, this incredible clash between ancient superstition and mind-blowing scientific reality. So how do we get from a terrifying death omen to the actual real story? Well, we have to peel back the layers of folklore and dive right into the science. It's time to unmask this enigma and find out the truth that's been hiding behind all that terror. What is this creature really? Well, for starters, it's a primate. Yep, just like a lemur or a monkey or, well, even us. It's part of the super unique family that evolved in complete isolation on the island of Madagascar. I mean, think about that for a second. An entire island acting as a private evolutionary laboratory, cooking up creatures you just can't find anywhere else on the planet.
And that total isolation, it's the key to everything. See, when you're stuck on an island for millions of years, you have to get creative to survive. So all of the AI's strange features, those giant ears, the rodent-like teeth that never stop growing, and especially that finger, they aren't mistakes. They're not some kind of demonic trait. They're a highly specialized toolkit that makes it an absolute master of its own little world.
Which, of course, brings us to the main event. That kind of creepy-looking middle finger. If it's not for pointing out people's doom and gloom, what on earth is its purpose? The answer, my friends, is pure evolutionary genius.
And this slide right here just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the woodpecker. Here's the thing, woodpeckers don't exist in Madagascar. So that job, that ecological role, was basically a big help wanted sign. And on the right, you see nature's incredible solution, the eye. It evolved to do the exact same job. It uses that long finger to tap, tap, tap on the wood, listening for insect tunnels with those huge satellite dish ears. Then it gnaws a hole with its teeth and uses that same skinny finger like a super specialized hook to fish out the grub. It's a primate that became a woodpecker. How cool is that?
So just let that sink in. The eye isn't evil. It's not cursed. It's a masterpiece of biological problem solving. It's one of nature's greatest examples of just finding a way. It perfectly shows us that what looks weird to our eyes is often just a sign of pure genius at work.
But, for all of its brilliant adaptations, for all its evolutionary success, the AI's story takes a really tragic turn. Because the real omen of death in this story isn't coming from the AI. No, it's pointed directly at it. It's official. The International Union for Conservation of Nature lists the eye as endangered. This one-of-a-kind creature, a product of millions of years of evolution, is genuinely at risk of disappearing forever.
So why is this happening? What's pushing this incredible animal to the edge? Well, it's really two major threats that are tangled together. First, its forest home is being wiped out by logging and farming. But the second threat, that takes us right back to the beginning of our story. That superstition is part of a cultural system of taboos in Madagascar called fadi. And because of a powerful fadi against the AI, many people truly believe it brings terrible luck. And so, they're often killed on sight, purely out of fear. The very adaptations that make it so special are the same features that are getting it killed. But look, this isn't a hopeless story, not by a long shot. There is a path forward. And it's a path that requires more than just protecting forests. It's about changing hearts and minds and saving this incredible animal before it's too late.
Right now, conservation efforts are really focused on a three-part approach. First, engaging directly with the Malagasy people, the ones who actually live alongside the eye. Second, working to change those harmful perceptions, to reframe this wonderfully weird creature not as a demon, but as a unique and valuable part of their natural heritage. And of course, number three, protecting what's left of the forests it calls home. The story of the eye is such a powerful reminder of something really fundamental. What we don't understand, we often fear. And what we fear, we often destroy. It really leaves us with one final crucial question. What other marvels of the natural world are right there in front of us that we're just failing to see for the wonders they truly are?